stick, a pine cleaner.
Okay, you guys still here?
Yeah. I still
Mm.
stop.
Then go put your stuff away where she can't reach it.
All right, so we got that.
Yay.
Now, how do I get the printer to print?
You have to plug in the
Wireless.
tablet directly to the USB cord that's on the side of the printer.
Okay.
And as soon as that's plugged in, it should automatically start printing whatever you've put into the queue.
Oh, but there's only one USB port though, huh? Okay, so let me save this then. Let's see.
Yeah.
Well, I printed it out at work and then I left it at work. So I'm like, that's not very helpful. Oh,
That's something I would do. Yes.
So. Okay, yeah, that's printing. Let's see, let's go to. Desktop, where it is. Where it is. Let me see. Oh, no, that's what it is. Oh. Let's go to Zoom. Okay, so can you see that, the screen,
Yes.
Excel spreadsheet? Okay. Okay, so this is gonna be a minute, but. Who's all on here? Just you and I? And then
Yes.
he's here in person, so it's printing right now, and I'm gonna give her the printed copy. And I'll explain what this is here in just a minute. Let me see. Let's see, think I can pull up, no, that's not what I want. I'm gonna pull up, where's the mail?
Oh, geez, hold on.
Okay, one more. Okay, so let me get out of here. See what this is doing. Hopefully it's printing the second one.
Man, whoever said to have kids lied to me.
Right. I wish I could,
It'll be fun.
but it doesn't. And those spreadsheets that you sent me for PayPal, the Wixpo, Amazon, perfect. I was able to match everything up, and Amazon, it gave descriptions of what was purchased, so.
Perfect. That's what I was hoping.
So the only thing that I need, which I don't need it for the audit, I'll just need it for allocation for 2023 funds, because it didn't get transferred into until 2023, is that $8,000 from QuickBooks. I don't know how
Oh,
to.
okay.
I suspect that a lot of that is going to be 2022 dollars, but I
Yes.
got to account for it somehow. So, let's see. Okay, so all of those are printing. Almost done here. And I struggled on, one of the reasons what took me so long is trying to figure out how to organize it all to where you guys would understand and not have to change everything. And so I rethought everything. Let me pull up. Oh, I gotta wait until this is done. Put it on it.
And then have you been updating QuickBooks already too, or are you still
No,
waiting
I
on
started QuickBooks.
that? Okay,
Went in there and added categories.
I did see that. Okay, that's why I asked.
And then I think I added the raffle bank account. But then I got in there and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to start inputting this and it changes everything. So once we get past this audit and then I'm all caught up, and then we can sit down and go through QuickBooks.
Okay.
This is gonna have to be either an online thing, I think. Someone's gonna have to pull up the account, and I was gonna give you my vision of what I think I figured it out. I think it's called tagging it or something. I can't remember. I think I got it set up, but it's been a while now since I looked at it, so I got to relook at it. But next week for sure. Monday. So Tuesday I can't do it, but Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday I could do it, and Monday I can even do it. And that's even so that's done. Yay. Hold on, switching gears here. So I figured we can just set some time in the evening, like at 5 o'clock, and go until 8 or take a break and kind of just go from there. Now that I got all of the numbers, this is going to be a quick data entry, I think. When I can export it. But anyways, we'll work on that next week or
Okay,
soon. That's the next step.
sounds good.
So I just dropped all of these. So now I gotta. Okay, so cash tally. Okay, so here's this here. So there's that there. Kitchen. No, that's over the three. It's this one. Kitchen 7:30. 7:10. Kitchen. 12.
Okay.
Watch those. 1, 7, 15, 3, 4. 6, 7. Almost there, guys.
No, you're fine.
Okay, perfect. Okay, Sally, this is what I've given to you. So this is the general account. And then this is the bingo account, and they're just right up there. And then I'm just going to tell you everything I've given you. General account, bingo account. This is all of everything matches the bank statement. So anything that's in the bank account is listed here. And then I've subcategorized them based on our categories that we wanted. And I'm going to print that out. And then here is 2 separate lists that I still have not figured out how to intertwine into these. So here's the 2 details list of the kitchen petty cash and expenses. So what this is here, I'm going to give this to you here. So Chandra, this is what I'm showing Sally right now. So this, and I emailed it. So if you look in the sent folder for the West Side Improvement Club group, you'll see an email from me. And I've emailed you, it's called a profit and loss for 2022. So you should be able to pull that up and then and follow the tabs down below. That way you can scroll through at your leisure. Let me go grab the bank statements.
Perfect. And I'll put this in our Google Drive as well.
So, and then here's the bank statements. The easiest one to do is the raffle for 2022, because the only thing we had was the deposit of the $250 account. Hopefully that will give me a clean audit. Okay. And then these are all of the backup documents for those. So
So this is the bank of the
oh,
raffle.
shoot, let's see, shoot, sorry. Potty mouth here.
Oh, very nice. I see. Okay, all your tabs on there. I found it. Okay.
I thought I printed out the, no big deal. I can print it out, go to the printer and print out the actual banks. Oh, I did put it in there. So this is the bank statement from December to December.
Right.
So that's the only thing that there is for that. And it's that one right there. Okay. So, yeah, so the tabs on the bottom is, you just have the general account and it just has the dates, check, deposit, whatever. It has a description of who the payee is to, and then a description as to what it was, and then the category. And the category amount, and then when you see bank charge, what that is so if you go look at check number 12947, it's to Dex YP.
Mhm.
So the check amount was to $63,
But it's-
and that's what you'll see on the bank statement, but I split that cost up between accounts to, a third. I just guessed, right? A
Yep.
third of it was club, a third of it was bingo, a third of it was a rental, because that's what's listed in the actual yellow pages.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay. So that's kind of what that is. And then when you go down just a little bit further, you'll see PayPal. Okay. So the first transaction of PayPal for a deposit on January 18th, it says, it says PayPal because that's how we receive the money.
Mhm.
That's what'll show up on the bank statement. Okay. And then the details is that it was Cheryl. It's a rummage sale table. I mean, I didn't go into, details.
Right.
It's an income for an event. Okay. So he paid $10.30. And these are, so what PayPal does, and I don't know if you guys know this or not, but what PayPal does and Wix Pro, whatever that is, the website, but I know PayPal for sure. What they do is when money is received into PayPal, and then at some point, either Chandra, you go in and transfer the money into our bank account,
Mhm.
or it does it at a certain point. So when you transfer that, it's like a
Full
holding. Yeah, so for example, when you see the on the bank account, it says 119.91 cents. So the $119.91 was transferred or deposited into our actual bank account. That's the number that you're going to see. But what that number truly represents is that we had to pay our Zoom account, which is $163.39. And then we also had some credits in there. So we had the deposit of the two events, one from Cheryl, right, and one from Rosetta. And then we also had another one for Cheryl. So that one was an event. So then you're $30 and some change. And then there was Maureen had done a rummage sale as well. So that's $15. And then per transaction they charge. So there's fee that was collected of $2.87. So
Balance. That was
that's
already
how it
there.
works. So when you look at the
Okay.
spreadsheet, you can see they've kind of got it broken down. So if you go to PayPal and click on that receipt or that tab, do you see lines 1 through 5?
Mhm.
So that is everything that attaches to 119.91. So there's a
Okay.
that-
Okay.
So it groups it. So when you go down to the next one where it says negative 2883, everything above that is reference to that 2883.
Now,
So-
I might be able to make a setting so that it automatically goes directly
That's
into
what
our
the website
account.
does. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, that's what the website does. It automatically, as soon as somebody makes a deposit or pays something or whatever, it's automatic. So it's a little bit,
Yes,
but
but
now that
PayPal will accumulate in the account and then it does it right now. It's auto doing it at the end of each week.
okay.
But I
So-
might be able to set it up so that it does it after each transaction so that it's more clear in the paper
Yeah.
trail.
Either way, now that I know how to account for it, it's totally fine, but
Okay.
yeah, that's totally fine. So anyways, so I'm going to go back to the general account. So that's what that second column is where it says bank charge. That's just the actual charge on the statement. And then I have it broken down by categories.
Okay.
I thought it was important to account for the event income as well as the event fee. So
Absolutely.
that's why that's there. And that's why it's in as a negative, a negative is going out and a no negative is a positive coming.
And it says,
So
Next.
here's the Excel spreadsheets. You guys can go through those. I have the bank statements here. So Sally has the bank statements. To me, the bank statements aren't too helpful, other than it'll tell you the deposits and the debit charges. But once you get to the checks, for whatever reason, January, February, and March, they did not provide copies of the checks and the statements, but once you get to April and through the rest of the year, a copy of all of the checks. Maybe it's April, all the copies of the checks. Jeez.
I feel like that's about when you took over compared instead of Dawn. about
Quite
April.
sure why it switched over, but at some point it started printing all the checks. So April, okay, so yeah, January, February, March, April. So in April, it started printing all the checks. So you can go and look at on the bank statements, all the checks to make sure that it makes sense that, hey,
Okay.
why is Brandy getting a check for $7,000? You might want to question that, right?
Mhm.
But if you look at all the other ones, PSE, Cascade, whatever. And then if you look at the bank statements and you look at those checks and I have backups for all of the checks. So the only ones I don't have is January through March when, and they're all the basic bills like Cascade, Dex, even the deposits I don't have because I wasn't here. That was when, I was here, but I wasn't the treasurer. So that's when,
Rex.
Dawn.
Dawn, yeah. So I'm not sure where those are at. I looked and saw the 2021, but I didn't see a box for 2022. So I'm sure they're in the office somewhere, but I didn't have anything to account for it, but they're all legit. If you look at it, it's a utility bill of some sort. There isn't any weird things, but you can just go through the Excel spreadsheets. So that's how the general and bingo is. So that's pretty much what's on the bank statement. That's what's in there. And then I broke it down by categories. The two things that I have hard time trying to figure out how to incorporate is petty cash and the kitchen sales. So, and that's why there's two separate spreadsheets that itemize those. So when you look at the kitchen petty cash tab, it will, so this is every week I replenish the petty cash and it's $1,000. Okay,
Right.
early on it was 500 and then we bumped it up to 1,000 and then sometimes I was didn't have 1,000, so I did 900. So long story short is it's about $1,000. And each week I come in and grab the cash, take the receipts and attach them to a cover sheet. And then I take the cash that's left over and I hold it and replenish it. Sometimes I don't have the ability to replenish because they spent it all, especially early on when they were trying to build up their kitchen supplies again. So I'd have to go and get a check and you'll see the cash check in the general account for $700 and it'll say
Okay.
general account. So these are all of those expenses that are paid out of the cash. Okay.
Got you.
This is everything cash. So And again, I would have a cover sheet that's attached to all the receipts. If I don't have a receipt, I put on that spreadsheet, no receipt.
Okay.
Some of it's pretty self-explanatory. I put as much as I can. You know, it's, I think there's some policies that the finance committee or the board needs to make on how stringent we want to be on these receipts, because I think they are legit, but there's no
paper trail that says that.
right, especially towards the end. You'll, I don't know if it was the end of the year or early this year. Now they're paying jackpots out of cash. So it's like, why are they not paying checks anymore? So that's just food for thought for a little bit later, but
Okay.
then I put it in there. And and they're simple stuff. They're like, paid Leslie $20 because she made pie one day. There's no receipt because they bought something off of an auction. But you'll see those in there. So that's what the cash receipts. And then if you go to the tab, which is kitchen sales. So anytime, so how it was done in 2021 versus how it was done in, well, I take that back. How it was done when Sean was here, how it was done with Bingo was here is two different processes. So Sean kept every single receipt when a kitchen order, and then he attached those to the tally sheet. And so theoretically, I could take those tally sheets of all the orders that came into the kitchen and match it up to the cash that was received. Okay. Well, all they do is they just give me an envelope and tell me what the total cash that they received was. And so this is what that spreadsheet is.
Okay, so I think honestly, the way Sean was doing it gave us a bit more information and it was easier to track down all the expenses.
Money received. Well,
Oh,
and
receipt.
expenses, right? I mean,
Okay,
like I have no idea how many hot dogs are sold or how many buns you bought unless I go to the receipt, which I don't care about that, but somebody may want to know, you know, that particular
course.
night, how many hamburgers you sold, and maybe they're keeping track of it separately. I don't know, but I don't see that.
they're
Not the-
not. Everything you're getting, because that was something I had just recently asked, is that, you know, what their sales reports are, and they're like, oh, we just get the money. And I was like, well, it doesn't say what sold and how much. Oh, no, we just give that to Brandy. I was like, okay, so we may need to have
they-
a bit better system for when it comes to tracking sales and all that in the kitchen.
Yeah, and maybe that's what that's, once you know, the system gets up and running, that's how you can do it.
Yes,
Yeah,
and that's something we have to talk about too.
right. Yeah.
And usually when you do an audit, you look here and it says deposit, it would be the one number that you would compare to this.
Yeah, and that is.
And you've got them broke, it's all broken down. So
Yeah, and I just started, yeah, they are broken down by category. So, and they're not going to be in, yeah, it's, yeah, see
I should have
these.
brought my calculator.
Oh, okay, so these, yeah, so here, so check number 2 so this is a deposit. So yeah,
Right.
you have to go to a deposit on
Look
the
here, and you look
7th.
at these three deposits on the 7 and add them up
Oh, gotcha.
to get this number.
So there's 287.75 there. Yeah, because some, and so, you know, I'm not perfect and I'll admit my
No, no, no,
faults right
you're-
up front.
You're doing a
But
marvelous
some of
job.
them, early on, when I made the deposit, I was like, oh, okay, I'll just go ahead and make the deposit. And I really wasn't accounting for keeping things separate for the kitchen and then keeping things for the soda machine. So some of those are intertwined, but yeah, it is what it is. So you'll
We'll
see
make it work.
later on, I'm accounting more for soda machines because I actually have the numbers now and I have a spreadsheet that I keep, or a cover sheet that I attach to it now. So, so I don't know how you guys want to do the audit, but that's the Excel spreadsheets. And then there's backup paperwork for 99% of this stuff. And it's all here on the table.
So in the past, the audit was literally going through each month's bank transactions and matching it up to his ledger, which is basically what you've already got done. And I will say that his quote unquote audit in the past was not a true audit.
Right.
I think that this, having all of these numbers and separated as it is exactly what we needed. And as far as any discrepancies and things like that, I think the only way we'd be able to go through that is if we did do it where we go through the bank account and find the charge and compare it, but this is a lot more detailed than we've ever had in the past. I will say it that way. In a good way.
Some of them I went through. Some of them, as I get used to all of this, months go by and I'm like, oh, I should really account for this and this and this. So towards the end, you'll see where I'm starting to account for all the soda purchases. So what they
Right.
do is they'll go in and spend $300 at Wenco, and in there are sodas. So I have to pull those out. And so it's a little daunting, and honestly, I just
You've
Just
done amazing.
I just don't care to go into that level of detail, but I think it's important. So I started doing it towards the end. So you'll see that. And I'll tell you the reason why I think it is important that that we start doing that is because so they've implemented certain programs to help entice people to buy certain things. So there's a couple things. One, they will put $5 bills on a can of soda and put it in the soda machine. Okay.
Right.
To entice people to, hey, buy soda. Well, then I started thinking, I'm like, well, now if you go to the petty cash expense receipt, if you look at that detail and you look towards the end and you see $40, $30, $25, $10, $50, $20 here, $30 here. And I'm like, this is starting to add up. So
Yeah.
so they have the prize money. So then I thought, well, maybe I should start accounting for the soda. So then you'll see where there's soda purchases in the
Got like the soda prize money.
yeah, that's the cash. Yeah, I didn't know what else to call it. So
Yeah, no, that's perfect. I just
Yeah.
want to make sure.
yeah, so then you can go to let's see, is it this one here? I might have done it on the prize money. Oh, you know where it's going to be? It's going to be in let's see. It might be just starting this year because they have their own debit card. So now they're charging everything on debits. So now I'm able to track the purchases through the debit. Let me see. It might be this. So bingo. Surcharges on here. No. Go back to petty cash. I thought they did it recently. Soda.
Okay, can't find that one.
Must be
13.
so where it says food and soda, I didn't break it out. I mean, I probably should go back to these older ones and break them out, but I did start breaking them out at the beginning of the year for 2023. Because I wanted to start tracking this year because they just started it towards the end of the year. So this year I have it started tracking where when you look at the bingo account for 2023 expenses, it'll have like a debit charge of Wenco, and I'll say, okay, 300 is regular food and 25 is soda. So we'll start, I'll have a accurate number for 2023 first quarter numbers of what we spent on the prize money versus what we bought for soda versus what was deposited. So we'll get those numbers this first quarter. Let's see. Yeah, I don't.
So are you able to tell if we are still making money on soda or if we are, losing money now that they're adding prizes or anything like that?
So let me go to, let me put this in. So I'm going to close that. Don't save. Okay, so, okay. Let me see, let's go here. I'm going to pull up. Yeah, I changed this so many different times. I kept everything separate. I'm like, okay. And then I had different tabs and it was by year and then by month. I'm like, this is stupid. So then I just put everything by profit and loss and then put it by year. And then I creating all these tabs. I'm like, okay, this is much easier.
Yeah, that you sound like you work like I do. Like we just kind of wing it in the beginning and then adjust it as needed.
Yep.
I have one
Okay, and
question.
then let me pull, let's see, how do I go here? No. 2023 profit. And I'm going to send you insert. So look in the scent of the West Side Improvement Club. And you'll see the profit and loss for 2023. I started it and then I had to go. Okay, so there's that. That should be on its way. So now I have this pulled up. Is that 2023? Yeah. Zoom, share screen, 2023, share. Okay, so here's where I started tallying, is that even a word? So here on the screen, so for 2023, here is the soda. These are all, see, that should be soda machine, soda sales, soda. So these are all what I've been able to identify of all the soda purchases. I'm not sure why that soda sales is in with the soda, but expenses. So so they've spent, I'm going to delete that for a second. Expenses, right? Those are all negatives. Okay. So they spent $772 approximately on soda. Okay.
Mhm.
Let's just do the quick math. Okay. So, and then if you come up here to, it's all the kitchen. Yeah, see, I think I have to do, oh, income. Oh, okay. Well, oh, that's right. I did do is income because I wanted to track. So that's not quite true. Okay, I'm gonna have to
Problem.
check that. Let's see. Okay, that's what it is. Oops, slow down. Okay. This should be income. That's why. Okay, and I can't do this by the mouse. Okay, so where it says supplies, that should be all expenses. So supplies, kitchen, soda, that'll track all the supplies. So like I said, $600 there. But when you go up to income, probably making you dizzy.
Any part of this that I can do?
Then you go to income. These two here should be debits. So 700, 800. So about $850 in soda that we bought. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 in sales. So we're about a wash there. But then when you go to the soda sales, because it's cash, you're going to go into the expenses. And I bet you we're probably negative. We're not making any money off of it. We're in the hole actually, because of all the cash prizes.
And that's what I was wondering. So it doesn't really seem like that the cash prizes is making that big of a difference as far as sales and income.
It's probably increasing the sales, but the problem is a can of soda is what, 75 cents? And you're giving out $40 a week. And you're probably only, and you're making about $100 in sales of soda. And you're spending about $40 in anywhere from $30 to $40 in cash prizes. And then you're expending at least $100 on the cost of the soda. So you're more cost neutral, not having the prize. but would you have more sales if it wasn't? But yeah, you're definitely in
So
the hole.
maybe if we took that and just dropped it down to, you guys have a max amount of $10 per week and just put it dollar bills instead of $5 bills and
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah, you got to cap it. I mean, you can't, I mean, we're supposed to be
Yeah.
making money, not losing it. So I can tell you on the soda aspect, we're losing money.
okay.
I'm also concerned about the, and I don't know when's the appropriate time to discuss all of this stuff, but
Well, I
I-
think I've been wanting to have a meeting with Bingo anyways to discuss everything, but I wanted to wait until we got the bingo audit, sorry, the club audit. A part of that because I wanted to see the numbers and make sure that we were all on the same page. So this is gonna make a big difference. And I
Yeah.
do think that finance and bingo kind of needs to join up and have a conversation.
and I'll have those to you here in the next couple of days. I'll finalize everything. I just couldn't get everything done tonight, but
Totally
I'll
understand.
like I said, I'm just about there. I just got to look, I have some fine cleaning on my categories, but that figured out, and you'll have a discussion. The so- kitchen supplies. I don't think we have any concerns with the amount of kitchen expenses versus the sales. It's not a huge revenue making, but we're at least, well, and that's the problem with salary, right? Because you got salary in there. When you go to, trying to move this thing, how do I move this? I don't want. Move the Zoom. How do I move this stupid Zoom? What time is the board meeting? 6:30 or 6?
6:30.
Good. Okay, as soon as I can, there you go. Okay. So let's see. So, so sodas, I'll get the final numbers and confirm that, yes, we are losing, but just a discretionary review, we're losing money on the soda. They can't keep doing 5. They
Okay.
got on it. Like I said, they're doing $20, $30, $50, $10. I mean, and you can look at the Excel spreadsheet and it'll show you exactly what they're doing. I sent you the both profit and loss for 22 and 23.
Yes, I got 2023 in front of me now.
Okay, perfect. And then when you go to, so, hey, let's see. One thing that I noticed, I'm not quite sure what the change is, if it's hit and miss, but so we used to issue checks to the Pick 8 and Powerball. I've noticed the last couple ones, we're just given cash. So I have no verification. I mean, it's like $300 cash.
Who- Did somebody approve that? Has anybody talked to anybody else about that?
Not to me. So
Not to me. Matthew, I heard you were there. Have you heard anything about changing from check payouts to cash payouts?
No.
okay, so if you look at if you go to the kitchen expense tab, you will see all the details in there. So there's a bingo power drawing for $300. I'm assuming that's what that is. I don't know if she's doing something special. And then bingo prize for Easter, $300. Again, no receipt. It just says bingo cash. You know, it's a handwritten on a piece of paper that says bingo cash prize for Easter, $300. And then you can see all the soda machines when you look at the kitchen expense for 2023. Let's see, there's another Powerball drawing, winner, $250. And she paid $20 for Leslie to make dessert for bingo. She just gave her cash for that, no receipt. Let's see. There was another one in here that was kind of. So I, as far as cash payout, that's the only other thing is I don't know, maybe it's not a payout, maybe it's a prize winning, but that's a little steep of a prize, but bingo does make money. So that's a policy that the board or the membership's going to have to make, but that's a change that I seen. The other thing is raffle. Sally's understanding for the raffle was that it's supposed to be 50-50 split cash. Well, now they're buying, there's expenses for raffle in here that they're buying either scratch off tickets and or gift cards. There's prizes in here. So they've bought like, what does it say here?
Are they buying the prizes for bingo out of the raffle?
So from my understanding, what I just understood, what I was just told was that the 50-50 raffle, the prize money was not enough incentive, I guess, and so they were increasing the incentive by buying scratch tickets to add to the prize, which kind of
Okay.
took away from the initial.
But if you're buying scratch tickets, it should still not come above the 50-50.
Right.
So like if they $100 and you give them $25 in scratch tickets and $25. You
Right,
don't-
but it should all equal out and there should not be any kind of expenses.
And I'll double check that. That's the other thing that I'll get the numbers for you on that too, is to see if raffle is actually making money or not. Because I see expenses now, because it's being paid out of the bingo debit card because they don't have, I just got Shonda should be here in the next day or two, a raffle debit card. So anything that's raffle, she should be purchasing with the raffle debit card, and anything bingo should be purchased with a bingo. Right now, they're doing it all under bingo. So I have to, so when I was going through the expenses, I noticed that and I'm like, okay, so I have to do a transfer from the raffle to the bingo account to offset that. And I'll let you know if that's,
But
if we're in the hole for it.
if we're paying out more money than
Right.
we're coming, it's basically than the 50-50, then it's not worth having.
Right. It's like the soda machine, right? You can't keep doing the cash sales if we're not making money.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. And then the other thing is bingo. So we're at 41.
You let go.
Let me just tell you right here. I want to get the final numbers, and this is, it's not 100%, but I think it's pretty
Right.
close. So we budgeted 41,000 for, or excuse me. So from now, so January to April, mid-April, we've spent 41,000 on payroll for bingo. I've budgeted 90,000 for the whole year.
And we're only 4 months in.
Yeah, and so a part of that is when I went and budgeted the numbers for bingo for the salary in 2022 for 2023, I took the 2022 numbers, added a few hours. They were averaging about 24 to 26 hours. They're now averaging 32 hours a week.
And no one approved an increase in hours, correct?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
So all the numbers have gone up. We've got an extra, we did have an extra employee, but like for last payroll, it was the biggest payroll, but I think there was a couple of, there must have been an event, but they all worked 6 days last week, 5 or 6 days, last payroll.
Oh, yeah, because of Easter.
Okay, so that's probably what it was. So that's a one-off, which I totally get, but consistently they're anywhere from 29 to 32 hours.
And they were sitting between 20 and 22.
24, yeah.
Okay.
Leslie's have stayed about the same, 17, 16. Hers is about the same. Every now and again she'll go up, but it's just because they're probably busy or whatever. But Shonda's has increased, Malik has increased, and then you got Farrell. So hers is pretty inconsistent, which I get because they bring her in every now and again.
Right.
Also janitorial. So I'm not going to count that, but that 40,000. I have to just double check because I think probably maybe 3,000 to 5,000 of it is probably event that I need to pull out, but they're still running pretty high.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different for me because I got to go pull up the reports from the, I was paying them separate, but now I have to do internal because we can't pay somebody with the same social security number out of 2 different paychecks. It has to be all combined into one account.
Okay. Is that what the unemployment thing was?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We got it all set up and I knew that last month. And so we finally got it set up 2 payrolls ago. But in the meantime, so now I just have to do an internal transfer. But once I get that all straightened out, I'll have the full numbers, and that's my goal to get done this week. But so just that's just another thing that I've noticed when I've gone through this is that the hours have increased significantly, continuously, or steadily, I should say, for the last.
Okay.
And I have all the timesheets. I also have an Excel spreadsheet that lists all of the hours. So you can go and look and see, okay, from last year, what were the hours that somebody worked to now. So I can send you that spreadsheet as well, that you can take a peek at it and just double check that, hey, I'm, am I missing something? But I have all the pay stubs printed out. And then I have all of the timesheets printed out that could be matched. And then all of those paper ones match my Excel spreadsheet. So you can go and look at any time what the hours are. So, and that's how I've caught it is, hey, you guys are 24, 26 hours. Now it's consistently 30 to 32.
Okay.
So.
And that's what, 3 employees or
Hmm?
on average about all 3 employees? Shonda, Teresa, and Malik?
No, let's see, let me, let's see, I'm not gonna save any of this, let's see. I'm gonna send this to you. Insert file. Westside payroll. Let's see. I had to switch that 15,000 times too. I finally got everything all on one. Okay, so that's pay stubs, payroll, that's 2023. Did I combine them all in? Okay, I'm sending you the payroll file.
I wonder if there's a highlighter. Yes.
Oh, wait, let's see, tax rates, those are all paid short. Let me see what I did here. These are just timesheets. Okay, I gotta find. There we go. There's the timesheet. So you can at least tell by the timesheets the number of hours there. So Malik, yeah, he's about the same. Let me see. So Shonda. Yes, towards the end of the year, she was at 30 hours, 20, 30, 20, 20, 30, 20, 30, 28, 30. So hers was consistent. So let me see, Malik. 20, his is the same. His has been pretty good. Leslie's been steady. Let's see, Teresa. 35. Oh, maybe I'm off. Maybe it was Malik and what's her name I was thinking of? Oh, like 22.
And so Malik and Farrell have been doing a few more hours with the rentals and things like that. And then help covering at bingo as well.
Okay, maybe I'm not. Maybe I didn't. I'll have to look back at my numbers, but yeah, they're consistent.
Okay.
I wonder if, oh, well, here's 26, 27. So when was this? July. Okay, so maybe halfway through the year. Oh, it was 30, 37, 35. Okay. I don't know. For some reason, I thought they were 2024. It must have been, I wonder if it's the snow days that I'm remembering. Because she's averaged 30. I mean, there's 25 days, 24 hours. I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess it's all over the board. So when you go to March, and maybe it's because it was slower. Maybe that's what I was thinking. The first quarter, she had about 24 hours average. And then second, third, and fourth, it's average probably 30. And then
has the income increased?
yeah,
As well?
yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Yeah.
So as long as,
Yeah.
okay, so it kind of goes hand in hand.
I think so, yeah. Okay, so it must have been the first quarter. Maybe that's what I was looking at, first quarter to first quarter, thinking, what the heck? So that makes sense.
Okay.
So no concerns on payroll, just more, I think they cap on their funding. It's hard though, because if you put a cap on it, then it reduces, what if they get busy,
Well, and
That's-
that's why I was thinking maybe put a cap on it, or if they're getting to point to where they're getting over a certain amount of hours, they get pre-approval for those.
Yeah, right now they can't go over. I think the only thing I remember on the books was the overtime, no overtime. And they've never hit overtime, so that they're staying within.
Okay.
So, but I think outside of that, that's all I had to share was the raffle. If there was some change in the raffle and may want to have some sort of policy on what the raffle program is. And then the soda, I'll give you the numbers on the soda. And then just more, and then the bingo payout, if that was a special or if we're changing, and then third.
Yeah, I'm curious about that part.
And then the third piece would be, some of these loosey-goosey transactions, which probably are legit, but I think we just need to have a better policy on what source documents we need when we're handing out cash for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's one of the first things I want to ask is what happened? Why did we go from check payouts to cash payouts? Did they just not have checks available to pay out? And so they just kind of winged it and went with the cash, or
Asking for.
something else?
cash instead.
Well, anytime that she's running low on checks, she tells me. So at any given time,
Okay.
she has 1 to 2 blank signed checks specifically for payout.
Okay.
There really isn't any reason why, unless it was a heavy night that night. That's the only thing maybe she only had 1 check and she had 2 payouts. That could be it. But
So is there a way that, we could, can she be a signer for the checks?
she can, but I thought there was some issues where she might not
Oh, I think you're right.
be
I
interested.
think you're right. So then in those circumstances, if we have,
But if we give her
But-
like 5 checks a week, 5 checks.
yeah, if we increase the amount of checks that are signed and keep those,
Yeah, we used to do 1 and then I said, well, let's do 2. And so we've done 2 now. So she hasn't told me that she needed
Okay.
more. So I don't know what, that I don't know, but I know that she still has 2.
okay. So then, yeah, that's something I will touch base with her about and get some more information, and see if we can't get a better idea of what's going on there.
I suspect that it's either a prize, or like you said, maybe the person didn't want to check because maybe, I don't know, maybe that could be it too. They don't want to check
Well-
it. I don't know I don't know.
Yeah, and that's something, honestly, I don't think we should be handing out cash. I think that it's too much of a liability. There's not enough,
Yeah.
yeah, that's just, I don't know,
So that's, yeah.
something to consider.
But yeah, all in all, I think everything's good. We're definitely making money, but we're also expending money. So, yeah, I'll get those final numbers. Like I said, I started it. You got all my spreadsheets.
Do we already have a budget in place for specials, as far as you're not allowed to spend more than this amount of money on the specials, prizes, etc.?
What we have is, so we have the overall, so once I got through this, the next tab is to break it down. And that's going to be a little bit difficult because I think they've already expended let me see. So if you go to the profit and loss and you go for 2023, I adjusted the category. So when you go to year-to-date budget, this is what I was working on. So, and I put amended up there because I added some categories to it that we're tracking now. So my goal was for tonight's meeting, but I'm not going to, but I'll have it before the membership meeting for sure, but I'll give it to you. I'll email it out to the board as soon as I get it done. But to, you know, what we budgeted, $1,500 in membership dues. And then, so that's all the revenue top half. And then down at the bottom, for advertising's there, building and maintenance, rental, utilities, bills, payroll, supplies. So I think kitchen, we've spent year to date. I think when I did that, we've made when you look at anyways, so we're like 7,000, but it's about even. The amount of expenses that we've had is matching the amount of revenue that's coming in, but that's not counting payroll.
Right.
So if you look at that, then we're negative, but yeah. But I'll get the final numbers here for the first quarter by the end of this week. Yeah, so when I go, so it's so like the bingo papers, so she has a budget of how much we think is she's going to go through in papers. And then we have bingo prizes. So 35,000 is what I budgeted for based on what she did, you know, the last half of the year. So she could be at her limit for the year. I'll double check. I doubt it. I don't think she spent that much, but Dauber.
And this is probably something that we will need to sit down with her and be like, okay, so this is your budget. So, you know, budget for the 6 months or budget for the year. So you need to use this budget in order to decide how much you're going to be dropping at these specials, etc.
Yeah. So this will be a good start. Once I get the year to date numbers, I'll plug those in there. I'm trying to think. So we have raffle. Yeah. So, and I didn't know because what kind of expense, and when I asked them, hey, what kind of expenses do you think? They're just like, just the raffles tickets. So I only budgeted $250. Well, they've already exceeded that for the year because, you know, that's just what they've
We
expected.
had no idea where we were at. It was just
Right.
that.
Right. But if you look at the expense, and that's where an amendment's going to come in, is because I'm going to look at the revenue up here that they said that they felt that they were going to get for the raffle. They believe that they were going to be able to sell 17,000 raffle tickets in that year. And she gave me a number. She thought it was like 150
Right.
or something. I can't remember. Do I have it plugged in there? No. Okay. So, you know, we may have it be exceeding in the raffle tickets. So I'm just going to amend the, or exceed in the raffle sales. So I can adjust the expense piece to offset it. So we're not in the negative. So that's my next goal is I'm going to plug in the actuals here for the first quarter, plug in the actuals, and then I'll separate all of these into the club. I'll do the club expenses, bingo expenses. And then when I do the club expenses, it's going to be event and rental and then miscellaneous. So there'll be two sub budgets, I guess, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah, and then kitchen will be part of bingo. So it'll be bingo, kitchen, soda. And then the other budget will be the club in general. And then the hall rental and events. And then we can separate it out more than that. But yeah. So we'll see. Oh, and membership, yeah. So I'll get those. That's the next project.
I hear that. I got lots of them.
So more to come, but I think we're in good shape. I don't think there's anything concerning. I think we just have to do some adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
Our budget, do a budget amendment, and that's what I want to plan on bringing forth to the, so we can do two things. One, I can report April just like normal. And at the April board meeting, we can have a more robust discussion, but I can at least get these numbers out to you. And then you can set up a meeting with bingo and say, okay, here's your budget. Here's where we're at. they don't know, right? They've
Right,
been
exactly. And that's where I was thinking is they have no idea as far as they're like, oh, we're making money so we can spend money, but they don't necessarily realize that places that they're spending money are not bringing that money back in as much as they wanted it to. So yeah,
Yeah.
it would definitely be a good idea to have the manager and assistant manager there for the next finance meeting so that we can get a better idea of where we stand and everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, I think so.
I do think that, oh, so that was something I was going to bring up as well. Quicken's POS system, ironically POS, is now apparently switching over to
Yes. Switching over to,
I'm trying to think of what they're changing their system, and so they're no longer going to be offering updates and customer service and things like that. They're changing it, and they have joined up with Shopify. That's where it goes. So Shopify now has their POS system, which we can get a discount in order to switch, considering it, they're removing their option, but that is something we are going to have to consider as far as our POS system. We should still be able to use the majority of the same hardware, but as far as the software, I don't know where we stand. And that's going to be changed as of October. So I just got a notice that they are discontinuing our QuickBooks POS, and they are joined up with Shopify. So we may have to look into adjusting our software and purchasing different software.
and that's to track the food sales and the bingo sales. Is that what that was?
Yes, well, food sales, bingo sales, rentals, etc. So it's basically any of our sales, they're now switching to, and as well as our online store, everything is going away from QuickBooks to Shopify.
Mm.
So I will be looking into what kind of options that gives us and where we stand, but as of October, they're changing all of their options.
Bummer.
Go figure.
Mhm.
So I recently, in my networking, I've run across someone who may be able to help with point of sale.
I can't hear you, Matthew.
In my networking recently, I may have run across someone who can help with point of sale.
Oh, okay.
Should I reach out to them?
I mean, all information is good information. It can only build our knowledge tree. So yeah.
Yeah. I'll
But
verify.
right now we are back to square one as far as reconsidering our point of sales circumstances, and we need to make sure that whatever point of sales device we choose is also accepted by the gambling.
Okay.
So
Yeah, okay.
So as far as finance committee, it sounds like we are set up for now, and then we're going to be switching over to the board meeting here very soon, like pretty much now.
Yeah, Sally's just going through the printed spreadsheet and going with the bank statement. It's not the easiest.
I might
Yeah.
have one with me,
Yeah,
because there's a lot of questions I've got
okay.
that I'm going
And-
to get.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm gonna be doing the same thing as going through and comparing the numbers and all that. And then I think if we can have another finance meeting in another week or so.
Next Monday with me.
Okay, I can do next Monday as well.
Okay.
So if we want to get together as the finance committee next Monday and go through the new information and such, I think that would be a really good idea.
Okay.
So that way we can kind of
Take the printed bank statements home.
Okay,
Let's leave these blank checks here a little bit. Yeah, you can- here's this, and then
I may not have them done by next week. I'm gonna be gone this weekend.
here's the bank statements there.
How's May 1st for you then, Sally?
May 1st would be better. It's just I've got a convention I'm going to this weekend. So
Okay.
there's 4 days I can't work on it.
Okay, Brandy, how does May 1st work for you at 5 PM?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's our
Okay.
next general meeting.
Yeah, so it'll be right before the general meeting and then we can make sure that we're all kind of on the same page.
Okay,
So
Okay.
finance meeting on the May 1st at 5 PM.
So which banks do we already do business with? Bank of America and
Hit
the,
that bank.
It's that bank.
so, well, I recommend we do for the point of sale thing. Been looking up what my guy does. He does merchant services for Uqua Bank. But actually, we're looking more into what he does. I think we should find out who does merchant services at the two banks that we're already doing business with.
okay, this is the
And
big
these are
one.
the cash.
They may
We
be,
could also, we also need somebody that could potentially work with our QuickBooks so that we can continue on working with in our QuickBooks. So that it's not a total loss.
it's that bank.
I'll ask Brandy questions afterwards. My questions are. We have
Well,
people,
if there's
that-
anything we can, I mean, because we're still waiting for people to show up for, you know, the board meeting or the board meetings. So if you have questions that we can work through.
we have people that have not cashed their checks yet, 2 to 3 months over.
Correct. Yeah, there, I can tell you that there's a handful of bingo people that would hold their paychecks for a month and cash it. So you'll see a lot of that
I'm
payroll
looking
for
from
this year.
January,
Yeah, and then I have a list of checks here.
and they're
that-
only good for 90 days.
Well, they should be cashed unless it's a voided check.
Okay.
And that'll be on the mark on the spreadsheet.
And then I have some double entries,
So,
which might be part of the. Where did it go?
so some of them will hold off for months before they're cashed.
Right,
So,
I understand that. I'm looking at some that are even further up than that.
and then some of them, because of the way that the checks are, they're loose like this. So the general account, their checks are like this. And so when I go grab them, I pull from the bottom, not realizing that I should be pulling from the back. So you're gonna have big chunks that are out of order.
Right, I see, I
Okay.
noticed that. But like this, the Bremer disposal. It's 1, 2, but we also have the same thing farther down in another spot. This one here, I have to go through and check this because that's through the debit card and a lot of those aren't showing up. This one. It's a double entry. This one here, it says it's income, but there's no, it's not on the account.
Okay, I'll have to go I'll look at that one to see what it is. It's probably kitchen sales, but.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm just saying it's under
So-
bingo, so
and it's not where?
it's not on the deposit in the account,
Of 1816?
right? And that would have
So this
been,
is bingo.
February 11th.
February 11th.
Hi,
Hi,
my mom's making dinner.
you have one for deposit for 691
Yeah, 691.25.
and then 1816.
Oh, I wonder if I combined them.
Also,
I
could
wonder-
you do me a favor?
The others came out perfect. The
So
others are
I'll look
marked.
at 1816.
You see, that's why I kind of mark them like that because and like your fourth quarter,
Guys, could you do one favor?
and like here we have, let's see, fourth quarter,
Where is
let's see,
the
fourth-
thing
here.
that we were just on?
and then here.
Wait, I was on the meeting.
Quarter Check number 225.
but which app was it? Could you tell me what app was the one I was on? I mean, Mom was on.
Dang, 2253.
Which one?
Let's see, what was the other?
Wow.
Shadows Movie Maker?
3-1,
You
The-
on?
we're not. These two here,
Okay.
228
So,
was okay, but 301, I didn't have one for that amount.
I was trying to
Don't stop.
Bank accounts.
Right, and it was like a $10 one or a $50 one. This one says 3-1,
You shouldn't have been touching my stuff at all. Connor, stop.
and it'd be 1261. Or 1267,
I'm sorry.
and we're looking at March.
So 1267.75. That one's right there.
Right,
And then
okay,
the 1204 right there.
okay. That would. Is that the one I marked? That must have been the one I was marking. I don't know why I marked those. Then. The $10, yeah, when I had the adjustment, I marked it as,
Okay.
and then I found it. So I will be going through them
Okay,
again,
let me know. About 1216 will look, and then that double entry.
but those two, there were a couple of.
Oh, yeah, these right here, they,
Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, I like
Of accounts of the papers.
of these two, yeah, because they mailed one and then I just printed everything out, so that you probably get.
I see.
duplicate March.
Hey, Susie,
And is that
so I
March?
will be going through that. I'm working on March.
That's March there. No, that's April. Okay, and then here's March.
So I will go
Smart.
through those.
January,
like, it's word of that.
January, February. Okay, so these are, yeah, these. are- And then these are the copies, but
Now, those are ones that I marked.
go ahead and put duplicate. Double check. I'll leave them here.
Oh, these are ones that are marked.
Take this.
Yeah, I'll work on these.
And I'll just leave those as duplicates, so they're in there and I'll check them later, but.
Okay,
All right.
but that was kind of questions I was coming up with where I'm having duplicates.
I think we lost him.